Bottom line, this show today, short topic, but huge amount of information. We're not going to speak a lot of nonsense around because we're just trying to bring information to know what's going on. Death and beyond. Okay, Be'ezrat Hashem, we're going to bring descriptions, informations on the death of a person, what's happening in the death of a person, what's going to happen for the dead person after the burial, the punishment, and actually the punishment is not punishment. They are for the benefit of the person to cleanse his soul in order he's going to be able to go to Gan Eden if you're going to have the merit to it. The Gemara in Masechet Brachot teaches us that there are 903 kinds of death created in this world. As it says, Lamavet Totzaot. Totzaot, numerical value, 903. The hardest, Askara. Askara supposedly is something of suffocation. Try to understand what it is. Today in our generation, think about the worst COVID-19 scenario, double it, 1,000, this is Askara. You suffocating, it's closing on you, Chas v'Chalila. The easiest of all, kiss. Death of kiss is called, right? So, one of the two explanations of the Gemara to the death of Askara, the hardest, is sort of try to separate wool from thorns on a bush or anything. It's tear pieces and everything, and it's almost impossible to take everything out. The death of kiss, the Gemara explained it's like taking a hair out of a milk. You see it, supposedly easy. Right now, why there need to be this kind of difference, or what the difference? The difference is according to the need of separating the soul, spiritual, from the body, physical, that the strength of their bond, connection, depends on the amount of sins a person doing in this world, the will he got to do those averot, and the effort he tried to do in order to reach and do the averot. Does everyone need to worry from going to hell? We're going to try to answer from the peer of the worlds. I'm going to bring one example. Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, zchuto yagen alenu amen. The Gemara in Masechet Sukkah, I'm just going to try to understand for a second, who was he? The Gemara teaches us that they said on Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai that he never put down Mikra, the Holy Bible learning, the Torah, Mishnayot, Gemara, all the Talmud, Halachot, Zodiac, everything, astrology, numerical value understanding, conversation of the angels, conversation of the demons, Maaseh Merkava, all the creation, Kabbalah, and the same Ribaz that we right now mentioned, all these things about him. In Masechet Brachot, when his Talmidim came to visit him, they saw him cry. And they asked, why are you crying? And that's what he answers. There is two ways in front of me after I'm dying. One of heaven and one of hell. And I don't know which one they're going to lead me into and through. And what do you think? I'm not going to cry? So for sure, if he was crying, we should already mop the floor with the tears. In the Otzar Midrashim, they saying that when the angels, minister angels, want to sing in front of Hashem, the river of Dinu, which is a later stage after Gehenna, going up, rise, tide, and all those angels going first, dipping in this river of fire. River of Dinu is the river of fire that's created from the sweat of certain animals, spiritual, and they dip in themselves in it. Later on, the Midrash saying, they not only dip inside, later on they come out, they take their tongue out, and the tongue and the mouth, 7 times into this river of fire. You speak about angels, and only then they go right now to praise and sing in front of Hashem. So right now, if those angels need it, what are we going to say? And also we know that when the angels going back from their what they had to do, stuff in this world, because they come to the physical world, when they're going up to the spiritual, they need to also clean themselves and purify themselves from the physicality through dipping in this river. In Shnei Luchot HaBrit, he quotes Sfarim Kedoshim. He said, why the soul's going to need, after hell already, purification, to go to the river of Dinur. Finish, you went to hell and everything, and go, free ticket, no. Behind the door, connections. No, there's nothing like that. And the Sefer answers us, the Shalah HaKadosh, there's two kind of purification to the soul. One, it's called hell on earth, which I don't speak right now about marriage life, chas v'chalila, hell on earth, and that's meant to purify what the soul blemished and defect when it's ward himself in the fire of the evil inclination to transgress the mitzvot. And the second one is to purify on what it didn't sanctify itself on the mitzvot that you're allowed to do. B'mutar lecha. You need to sanctify in what you're allowed to do, not only don't do bad, but what you're allowed to do, you need to do it on a certain holiness matter. So we know there's different levels to the purity of the soul, and it depends on the actions in the physical body, in this physical world. Be'ezrat Hashem, we're going to start in the description of the death. There's many different, a little bit description. We're going to cling short in the one that's Parashat Nasa in the Holy Zohar, and I'm going to try to bring it in our language. In the time of this one, the person who's dying is put into the collar of the king, Hashem blesses thee, and the sentence is decreed to die, come the supervisor of the king, and who's that? Angel of death, and he stand in front of this guy on the edge of the bed, let's say, and he hold a sharp sword in his hand, and this sword is the power of judgment to kill this guy. And this person that's going to die raises his eyes right now, and he see all the walls of the house on flame. That's come from him. I am not sure if it's from the angel or from the person who's going to die. And in that, you also see this angel of death. And this angel of death, I don't know what that means, full with eyes. All of him, full with eyes. And his clothing, so to say, is burning flame in front of the person. There's 3 drops, sort of to kill the guy, in his sword. This person, after the drop falling into his mouth, all his body and spirit shake, and he's scream to himself, what have I done? And it's not going to help him unless he proceed the remedy of tshuva before he dies. And he tried to hide, but he cannot. When the time of the spirit, the soul, to leave the body, the Holy Shechina come above this person, and he says there, praiseworthy the one who's going to be able to cling and attach to the Holy Shechina, and that's only if he was able to do tshuva, and oivei to the one who's far away from it. There is few different courts that a person and judge, the different judgments that a person is going to pass in the time when he lives in this world. First of all, the one we said, the death. Second of one is when the spirit, soul, going to leave the body. Another one, when his actions and words going in front of him. The judgment to the one who's going into the grave, the judgment in the grave, the judgment of the maggots and worms that consume the body, the judgment of hell. Anybody's there or everybody run away? I don't know. And the judgment of the spirit, the soul, that's going and wandering the world and cannot find the place of peace until all the action, that's mean all the punishment going to come on it to cleanse and bring him back to the position he need to be. Be'ezrat Hashem, to try to understand a little bit more, we're going to bring from Shara Gilgulim, Rabbi Chaim Vital Zichrono Livracha, and the Ari HaKadosh. And he say that there is almost nobody in the land that's going to be able to escape from reincarnations. The wicked, after they die, go to Gehenna and get their punishment, and the atonement come. The trial, the judgment there is 12 months, even though we need to mention that the 7th level of hell, it's called the Tachtit Eretz, the sort of bottom of the earth. The one who's going down is not going up, supposedly. And also the certain avera that we learned, that the person going to go down and feel at home, you're not going up. there's evil people, but that it says that the soul of your enemy, I'm going to sling in a slingshot. And those people, those souls, not going to merit to go to hell after they die to be able to cleanse their sin, but their soul going from one negative scenario to another in weird reincarnations until a little bit it's going to cleanse his defect, blemishes, and then maybe later, Be'ezrat Hashem, you're going to be able to go to hell, 12 months, let's say, and you're going to be pure totally. But those that's in this sort of slingshot, kafa kela, there's no limit time for nothing. And Shara Gilgulim explained another unbelievable idea, and he said that the tzaddik, the righteous, after his death from this world, he's ready to go on level of many levels that he got to do, but he cannot do it at once. Straight after he died, they're going to punish him to cleanse and clean the more severe sins this righteous guy did. And when the time to go to a higher level, they're going to judge him again to clean a little bit lower level of sins again and again. As we know that Svivav Se'ara Meod, the righteous, they must be clean. Everything. And the judgment for them can be greater than us. So some fool, sorry to say, going to say, so I don't want to be a righteous guy. But this is as a person that's going to say to him, would you like to serve the king in his palace, in his room, bring him coffee, drink from his coffee? Because you got the urn, right? Or you prefer not to be so serious and be dirty and do what you want, cleaning the gutter after he drank the coffee. Your choice, righteous or wrong, right? Choose. Be'ezrat Hashem, we're going to try to explain also why there is death in the world. So, Shara Gilgulim again say to us that we know that all the souls were part of Adam HaRishon before the sin, so to say. And when he sinned, they fell down to the depth of the husks, outer sides, the evil, power of the world. And not all the souls are equal. Some body parts were more strong into the sin of Adam HaRishon, and they fell way more deeper. And according to the value of the blemish of the soul part, this is the place where it fell down into the husks, to the worlds of the Sitra Acha. And the souls, before they fell down, they were, so to say, were dressed in holy garments. And right now they dress in dark, negative clothes, which are the husks. And this husk is covering this soul, holy spark, and engulf it all the days of this person alive, all the time. And we need to understand why, right? Because not all the sins, why? We need to know, I should say, that's not all the sins of a person, because of himself. That's something else. Because a person that's going to sin in this world, extra on what Adam HaRishon did, in every sin he bringing an extra husk, an extra layer of schmutz and filth according to the sin. But by tshuva in this world, he can clean everything. We can clean everything. There's no games. But the filth and the husk from the sin of Adam HaRishon, in all the souls that fell down, it's not depends on our tshuva, and that's why we need to have death. And right now we can understand the beating of the grave, chibut hakever, right? Everybody heard about it. And what's going on there, according to the Sfarim Kedoshim? After the burial of a person, sort of laying down there, I don't know, right? 4 angels coming down to the grave, dig it to the height of the person, and from lying down, they put this guy right now standing. They bring the soul into the body. Why? Because still there's connection between the soul and the body. From all the sins he did right now, he's still attached. Still a problem. And those angels we mentioned before start to shake this person, sort of try to think that you find your blanket from age 2.5 and you start to shake it to clean it, and they beat him with sticks of fire until the husk gonna leave him. And as we said, not all the people are equal to what they need to get. Because the righteous that fight against the temptations and sin, it's a laugh of a small slap. But the wicked that by the indulgence in sins in this world, they strengthening the bond between the husk and the body, they need to be beaten very seriously. Most of us know that a person say the pasuk that starts with the first letter of his name and end with the last letter of his name, it's a supernatural cure to remember his name in the time of the beating of the grave. The time, by the way, to say the pasuk is at the end of Shmona Esrei davening, before the second Yu L'Ratzon Emrefi. And if you want to find which pasuk, many Sidurim got at the end the letters of Aleph while you start your name, and they're bringing a pasuk, just learn it by heart and say it. But bottom line, why should I want to know my name in the grave? And are we speaking on the name that's right now the person is called when he's alive here? Maybe it's something else. So they ask Rabbi Eliezer, how the judgment of the grave? It's not Chibut HaKever right now, right? So he say when a person is deceased and died and separate from this world, come the angel of death, come to his grave, smack him on his hand and tell him, rise, let me know your name. Well, he doesn't know the name, the Malach HaMavet, he knows everything. And the person say to him, it's clear and known in front to the one who said this world going to be exist, I don't have a clue what my name is. And the Ari HaKadosh explained to us that there is no soul in this world that doesn't have a cover, a husk, from the sin of the snake, right? We spoke before Adam HaRishon. And exactly as all the holy souls got special name for it, depends on the body parts, its origin, and this is also the name that the father and mother give by Ruach HaKodesh Mamash to the person when he's alive. And it's not just a casual name. And also there's another name, the name of the husk that's covering each holy spark. So it's found that right now each one of us got a name from the holiness and a name from the other side. And if a person, when he's alive, would recognize and realize what his name from the other side, he would be able to investigate and find what the source of this name, and by that you're going to know which blemish and why is here actually, and you're going to be able to fix it very easily. And then also the soul is going to separate with no beating in the grave. That's why all the righteous that was suffering in their life try to separate the husk. The grave taking out is, as we mentioned before, the death of a kiss, taking a hair out of a milk very easily. But the wicked, wow, he need a serious beating because he didn't even try to know the name of the husk and the reason why he's here and what the reason that's pulling him to do all those averot. Okay, let's put this aside for a second. After the beating of the grave come a wicked angel. The other one was supposedly not wicked, right? And he take the soul from the grave, put it in a slingshot, and in one shoot from one side to the world until the gate of the heavenly court. We need also to mention there is another case that's there's a certain malach is cause us for temptation to look around. Ooh, what's going on? What cannot be assault, right? You know all this kind of stuff. And this malach, after he caused a man to look all around in this world, he come to him to the grave, and he's the one who caused him to look and do the avera of do not look on what's not yours. And he's the one who punished him. And what's the punishment? Bottom line, try to imagine that this entity come with a hammer of 85 pounds and just break the sockets of the eyes. That's sort of what he's doing there. That's another case in the punishment. Okay? Rabbi Yehuda Ptaya Zichron Levracha, Kadosh ve'Elyon Zchuto Yogenu Elenu Amen. He was a Talmid Chaver of the Ben Ish Chai HaKadosh. And he was merited to fix many souls that was stuck sort of in Kaf HaKela and also in hell. And he says that a certain soul that came as a dibuk, we're going to speak about it in a second, into a certain girl, and he told him that after he right now he speak with a spirit in a body of somebody else, right? And this spirit said him that after the burial came evil, scary angels and asked, what's your name? That's just to bring the story we said before, right? The Chazal. And even though she said, my name is Rosa, that was her name when she was alive, they didn't stop from beating her up until she said, it just jumped to my mind to say the name Naharaim. And they left her. And after they left, she said, came this wicked angel, took her from the grave, boom, smacked her like very strongly, until she came to the gate of the heavenly court upstairs, and they asked her for the name of her parents. When she said, I don't want to answer you, she said, I got beaten from the supervisors there. The first beat, I become a flame of fire. The second one, I become like a charcoal. And the third, I become total ash. And after that, she said, they revived me until I was forced to answer them. By the way, Kafa Kela, it's very, very trouble thing. It's a problem. The spirits are in punishment non-stop. And that's the source of the dibuk. Why? Because when those souls are stuck there, if they're going to be able to go into a person, they're sort of in peace of mind when they're inside, because they cannot be punished right now. That's sort of the source of the dibukim. It's souls, atilayot, stuck in Kafakela. They stuck there and they come. And why? How they come usually? Because this person doing a certain sin that's connected to them, they coming in. So we're going to speak right now on the Spanish. What she said, this girl, the spirit in, okay, this Rosa or Naharaim. She said that her punishment was to be 100 years in the hands of the destroyers. And this is Kafakela. And she said what was going there, and it's really fitting also early stories from our Chazal and Midrashim. And she said that in these 100 years, every day she's going to get 27 lashes in the day, 17 is at night, according to numerical value, dam, blood, because a certain avera she did. And every night she need to chop wood, and in this wood, they're going to burn her every night for 3 hours, and then they're going to revive her the next day, right? And then she's going to get also punished 1 hour lashes in front of the court, and she obligated to listen to the supervisor, which are 4. And she said, they brought me to such a terrible desert, full with snakes, scorpions, evil animals, huge dogs, all spiritual, that they terrify the soul, unbearable. You cannot understand the fear. And she said that the wood she had to carry on her shoulder, it was like piercing of a needle in the flesh of a live person, and if she would miss even one toothpick amount, they would bring her with the pile on her shoulder, which was bubble like balloon, she said, to the place of chopping the wood, and back to be burned, and etc. And this spirit also said that the worst suffering, and when they forced the spirit to pass above the grave of the dead people. And that's the worst. And again, as we said before, it's an escape, temporary, for those souls there to go and come into a person which is alive and become sort of a possession, right? Another topic on Kafakela, it's brought in Michtav Eliyahu, that the wicked, that's a custom in their life, to run after all the physical lust, they're going to punish after death. That the power of impurity that was created by their own sins, going to push them in obsession to look, to try to find those lusts there, but they cannot achieve nothing because the soul is separate from the body. And the power of impurity was created by the person. This is the punishment, because it's sort of always trying to reach something and there is emptiness, there is nothing. And for this soul, it's going to be better ready to reconnect in a stone, inanimate. And maybe in that time you're going to be able to forget the obsession to try to get, because in a different scenario. Another case that's the feeding what this spirit said to Rabbi Ptai Zichron Levracha was brought in Tana Devi Eliyahu Zuta. It was brought in Menorat HaMaor, in the Holy Zohar, Midrash Tanchuma. It speaks that Rabbi Akiva, some say Ribaz, was in the cemetery. And he met in the cemetery a person that was black as a charcoal. And he was carrying a load of tree on his shoulder. Rabbi Akiva ordered him, stand still. The person said to him, please leave me, my master, I'm not allowed to stand. Rabbi Akiva asked him, are you human or are you damager? He asked for him, the answer to Rabbi Akiva, this sort of black person, charcoal, non-human. He told him, the one you speak is dead, and every day his judgment is to chop wood, and then they burn him in this wood. And they explained there also that this punishment going to be finished when his son, that was born when he died, going to say, Shliach Tzibur, Baruchu et Hashem HaMevorach, in Shul. And we learned that his punishment could be a very long time, more than 12 months, and that before even hell. And again, Kaf Kela is not only what we said right now, Kaf Kela is also reincarnation, different one, and the suffer of reincarnation is unbelievable for the soul. Because the soul, okay, when it's reincarnated in different objects, or plants, or animal, it's remember what it was as human. When it's come to a human being, we don't remember what was then. There are cases, but 99.999 don't remember. But one of the punishment of the soul, it's when it's come as a dog or something, it's remember it was human. This is a terrible, unbelievable. After we pass Be'ezrat Hashem all of those, we're going to be able to do tikkunim in this world, and not come to it. The next purification, I'm not saying punishment, I'm saying purification, is hell. Gehenna. In Masechet Gehenom, they're saying there's seven levels in hell. Each one got many rooms and chambers. We're going to go on the names very quickly. The first one is called Sheol. And they're saying there's tens of thousands of angels of destruction. There is scorpions and snakes that eat alive, mamash, and bite the soul of a person. Half of it is flame and half is hail. And the wicked go from one to another. The second one is called Shachat, and also tens of thousands of those wicked sort of angels. The third, Tita Yavenu Be'er Shachat, okay? It's more dark than the other one, and also this place got tens of thousands different entities that punish us according to depends on what a person did. The fourth, Sha'arei Mavet or Tita Yaven. The fifth, Avadon. The sixth, Sha'arei Tzalmavet. The seventh, Gehenom. From this place come an unbelievable strong fire, flame, and snow, and scattering wind to judge the wicked. If you want more information, you can go to all the books of Chazal, that's bringing also all the punishment and which level, which one get for which punishment, etc. We're not going to speak about it here. Parts of the punishments of Gehenna we're going to bring, as Rabbi Yoshua ben Levi said, that Eliyahu Hanavi told him, would you like to see the gate of hell? And he said, yes. So he took him to see the gate of hell. And Rabbi Yoshua ben Levi said, I saw there people hang by their nose, Rahmana litzlan, some by their hands, some by their tongue, legs, some by their eyes. Some of them, they feed them their own flesh. Some eat huge burning charcoal, gachleret tamim. Some worms consuming their body. And some forced to eat sand and all their teeth break, grow again and break, etc. Some are thrown from fire to ice. And again and again. And Rabbi Yochanan said that every angel there is only allowed to take care of one sin. When you finish, come another one, take care of that, until we pure and B'ezrat Hashem going to heaven. And he explained there that the size of Gehenom is a walking distance of 6,300 years. Okay? 6,300 years of walking. Even think a marathon walking, quick. Think about the size. And each level, according to the depth, the fire, the heat is 60,000 times greater than the upper one, and the upper one is 60,000 times greater than the hottest heat here in the world. I thinking this is maybe lava in a volcano. Scared? Should be. For sure that in each, as we said before, on each level different sins, and as we said, the Sfarim Kedoshim are open. The translation, for many of them, there's no excuses. Another description, that in each level there are 7,000 cracks. In each crack there are 7,000 scorpions. In each scorpion there are 300 vertebrae, I guess that's what we're calling it, right? Pieces like small bones. Each vertebra, 7,000 bitter jugs, and from there 7 rivers of the poison of death coming out, and each person's soul that's touching them, automatically this person's soul crack, body parts falling down, the belly split, and then the angel of destruction come, take these pieces, connect it again, and punish them for what they need. So, I'm telling you, fine. And we need to remind you, and myself, that in order to go to hell, chas v'chalila, we need to go to many reincarnations, as we says, inanimate, plants, living. And as we said, the soul remember that it was human once. She remember where it's coming from. And that's unbelievable suffering. Rabbi Ptaya said a description that one of the souls told him, that the place in hell this person went, it was an ocean of fire. But not like right now, like chill out, water. Wave, storm, fire, all around. Even the angels, he said, are not coming close. They just sling the people inside. And I don't know if you ever surfed or something, but if you come to a surfboard and you're falling down and you're trying to find up and down, it's like being in a kind of a washing machine. That's supposedly this kind of place in hell. But that's from fire. And the soul feel way better than here. The Holy Zohar in Parashat Truma explained that according to the level of the sin, that's where a person going to go to Gehenna. And according to the awakening and excitement of the body heat of the wicked, when they thinking and doing what the evil inclination tell them, this is the source of the level of the fire and heat for the person who can get punished later on. In each place, level in hell, there can be different foundations for the fire. One could be, we know, boiling semen. The other one can be burning number 2, etc., etc. Different things. Those just 2 that we know from the Gemara. I just brought them. And we're going to conclude here and mention the goal of the courts that bring the will of Hashem out is not to take revenge for each one of us as a that's doing something wrong. The only goal is to clean the blemishes and stain that was created because of the sins in the spiritual structure of this person in order to bring him to heaven, close to Hashem. And Be'ezrat Hashem, how good it's going to be if a person is going to be awakened in his life to prevent from doing averot and push himself to do mitzvot and good. And if chas v'chalila he did an avera, how worthwhile is to fix it when he's still alive. And even if he's not aware to a certain sin, it's right and it should be done according to the words of the Ari HaKadosh to do a month of fast in different times of the year to fix sins of different reincarnations, or Holy Sparks connect to his root of his soul in Adam HaRishon, and then you're good, as much as you can. Be'ezrat Hashem, we should be merit a full redemption ASAP with no affliction and no punishment, but remember that all of these things is not to scare us. It's to create fear of Hashem, but on a positive way, to do tshuva and love Hashem and realize that all this punishment, so it's only to bring us close to get the best benefit. Nachat Ruach Klal Israel. Thank you for being here. Thank you.